Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video, and in this video we're going to talk about Revenge of the Sith. Completing my prequel trilogy arc review that I've been doing pretty much all day today. So, I'm doing it because it's George Lucas' birthday today, so I figured I will hit the prequels today. And if by some chance you're watching this, Mr. Lucas, happy birthday. I hope your birthday is amazing. And thank you so much for making Star Wars. Star Wars had a real impact on me ever since I watched this movie for the first time. Because Revenge of the Sith is my first Star Wars movie. So, like, I always have that in a way, that soft spot for Revenge of the Sith, due to it being my first Star Wars movie that I've seen all the way through. So thank you for your creative genius. You rock, and hope one day I can meet you in person so I can tell you just how amazing you are in person, and just to thank you in person. But with that said, Revenge of the Sith wraps up the arc that we started in The Phantom Menace with how Anakin was found to be a Jedi on Tatooine, all the way to now, where we're in the Clone Wars, and apparently it's like a 5-year gap between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. We see that Anakin and Obi-Wan are in their Jedi cruisers, trying to save Palpatine, who nobody knows still at this time that Palpatine is a Sith Lord, of course, outside of Dooku. And so, Anakin and Obi-Wan go to General Grievous' ship, which I believe is called the Invisible Hand. So, save Palpatine, because somehow Palpatine got kidnapped. And I say somehow because she can't either go with the whole the micro series version of like the Clone Wars and how he got kidnapped, which to actually see it, or that you can go with the Clone Wars season 7 way, which is what Disney considers as canon. Of how he got kidnapped. Which doesn't exactly explain how he got kidnapped, to be honest. But somehow Palpatine got kidnapped. And if I'm wrong about them not explaining it explaining in the Clone Wars season 7, please let me know. I would like to be corrected wrong. I would like to be corrected if I'm wrong. There we go. So, Clone Wars, they go to the Invisible Hand. Obi-Wan and Anakin essentially has to face Count Dooku. Obi-Wan gets knocked off. Anakin cuts off Dooku's hand. And we see, in the prequels and the Clone Wars, The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and the Clone Wars, we see, Palpatine kind of, being, the father figure to Anakin. Well, we all know that was him, grooming Anakin to be his apprentice, but, growing that, bond between Anakin and himself, so, he can more, sway over Anakin's mind. And so I've heard some people think that, when Palpatine told Anakin to kill Dooku, he was using the Force, what's considered as Jedi mind trick on Anakin, because, I guess when it comes to, Palpatine, Anakin is definitely weak-minded. Right, Nemo? And so, Anakin does kill Dooku, despite what Palpatine says, orders him to, which is leave Obi-Wan behind. Anakin, saves Obi-Wan. Because Obi-Wan's knocked out, he refuses to leave Obi-Wan there. Obi-Wan, some point, of course, wakes up. Obi-Wan, Anakin, Palpatine gets kidnapped by ray shields. They meet up with General Grievous, and they have some sort of fight where Grievous escapes. This invisible hand is crashing. It's making this crash landing towards Coruscant. With thankfully with Anakin's piloting ability, he was able to land this part of the ship somewhat smooth, and as far as I'm aware, with no casualties. So then, Anakin, Obi-Wan says that he has to go back to the Jedi Temple, where he'll allow Anakin to have the spotlight in the sun with the politicians. Anakin essentially gets greeted by Bail Organa, who's the adopted father of Leia, later on in the timeline. Palpatine tells Mace that, Grievous escaped, and Mace said, we know that he's going to be the end of the, he's, at this point, going to be the end of the Clone Wars, killing him or fighting him will mark the end of the Clone Wars, so we'll find him. Then we see Anakin spotting Padme. He excuses himself from Bail, goes to Padme, and we find out that Padme is pregnant. She thinks it's just one kid. Little does she know she has to push out two kids. This might sound sexist to a certain degree, but I'm kind of happy I'm not a female, because I can't imagine having to push out someone in my lower regions. That does sound painful. I've heard childbirth is a beautiful process, but it's a beautiful thing to witness, but it sounds like it hurts. So yeah. Anyways. So Anakin starts having nightmares about Padme dying, and essentially he goes to Yoda, and Yoda says, "Whoever you're having nightmares about, let them go. Rejoice that they'll be one with the Force. Let it go." And before we see Yoda and Anakin talk, we see Anakin and Padme talk, and Padme asks Anakin what's wrong, and after just crying, Anakin tells her. And that's when I get to see Anakin talking to Yoda, but Anakin doesn't tell Yoda, it's about Padme, it's about my wife. Because keep in mind, Jedi aren't allowed to love, at least not at this time. And so Anakin has to keep his marriage a secret. And essentially, his kids a secret from the Jedi. And then, essentially, we see Obi-Wan getting tasked to go to Utapau, because that's where they found Grievous. And at this point, the Jedi Council tasked Anakin to go to the Chancellor and spy on him. And this is after they had put him on the council, but did not grant him the rank of Master, which pissed him off. Was he gets that assignment from Obi-Wan. We want you to spy on the Chancellor. He's been in office for way too long. There's something fishy about that guy. We don't trust him, but we can use your relationship with him to our advantage, which turns out to be their disadvantage. So the last time Anakin and Obi-Wan sees each other, they say, "May the Force be with you." Obi-Wan tells Anakin how proud he is of Anakin, and he'll be a Jedi Master in no time. And that heads off. And he's gonna be he's in for a good surprise, or a real shell shock when it gets back. So Obi-Wan goes to Utapau, fights Grievous, defeats Grievous with the help of the clone troopers, Anakin essentially tells Palpatine on the news by Mace Windu's orders. Anakin finds out that Palpatine is the Sith Lord they've been looking for. Goes back to Mace Windu, tells Mace what he discovered, only to be told to go sit in the council chambers as Mace and a few other Jedi goes to arrest the Chancellor. Mace and the Jedi that comes, they fight the Chancellor. Some of these Jedi are like, suck, because they get killed within like a second. Kit Fisto, he dies within like 5 seconds. And Mace Windu lasts the longest. And it looks like Mace Windu beats Palpatine, but that's only a ploy. That is only a ploy to get Anakin to join the dark side. So Palpatine says, "I told you the Jedi are taking over," and Mace is about to kill Sidious, and Anakin says, "We can't kill him. He's still the Chancellor. Yes, he might be a Sith Lord, but he's the Chancellor. We gotta take him in. Let the course decide." Mace said, "The course. He's still powerful. He'll sway the course." And so like Anakin like cuts off Mace's hand, letting Palpatine force lightning Mace out the window. And now at this point, Anakin is Palpatine's new apprentice. Accepts being Palpatine's new apprentice in order to learn the secrets of saving Padme from his nightmares. Was the reason why his nightmares about Padme spooked him so much, because he has similar nightmares about his mother before she died in Attack of the Clones. So Anakin's trying to prevent that. So Anakin agrees to join the dark side, and now Sidious is saying, "Go to the Jedi Temple, destroy all the Jedi, then go to Mustafar and kill all the Separatists." And so now we are getting into this like moment of the Star Wars film where Order 66 gets enacted. And for those of you who are watching this video and doesn't know what Order 66 is, it's clone troopers' command to pretty much say, "Oh yeah, the Jedi are traitors, kill them. Kill your Jedi commanders." So we see Obi-Wan get shot at. Of course, we know he survives because otherwise he wouldn't be in New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, or Return of the Jedi. Oh, especially a New Hope, for sure. But the rest of the Jedi that we see, up until Yoda gets killed, we see Yoda on Kashyyyk still, because Yoda's on Kashyyyk helping the Wookiees against the droid invasion. He slices 2 clone troopers' helmets off. And we see Yoda later on saying goodbye to Chewbacca and this other Wookiee. And we essentially see Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Bail Organa regroup. I think on the Tantive 4? I think that's what it is. Talking about how they failed to connect with any other Jedi, and that they can go potentially back to warn all surviving Jedi to stay away from the temple. So Bail is like, he gets requested to join this special session of Congress, which he accepts. Obi-Wan and Yoda goes in and tries to go through with their plan to tell the remaining Jedi to stay away, right? And we see Anakin going to Mustafar, or Vader at this point, you can say, killing all the Separatists. And then Obi-Wan finds out that Anakin's now Palpatine's new apprentice named Darth Vader. Yoda says, "I'm going to Sidious. You gotta go to Anakin. I know this is painful for you, but you gotta face your old apprentice." So essentially, Obi-Wan asks Padme if he knows where Anakin's at. She lies and said no, even though she saw him like about 5 minutes ago in the movie. And so like Padme goes to Mustafar to find him. Obi-Wan stashes away. Padme tries to bring Anakin back to the light. Well, Obi-Wan, like, Anakin's trying to persuade her to reach to the, join him in the Empire. And then Obi-Wan essentially fucks things up, and Padme, like, gets force choked. Anakin nearly killing his children, his unborn kids. Great Father of the Year. And then, a lot of people say that they feel like if Obi-Wan wasn't there, and like Padme could have easily been successful, and I have to agree with that. Okay, there we go. Sorry, Extreme went black. I didn't know, but I was saying that a lot of people. I've heard some people saying that if Obi-Wan wasn't there, Padme could have easily been successful persuading Anakin back to the light, and I can see that. But then I traced the duel between Anakin and Obi-Wan, and Yoda fights Sidious. Now, Yoda essentially, like, Yoda's in the Senate chambers with Sidious fighting. It comes to draw with that fight, and Bail Organa saves Yoda, says, into exile I must go. Failed I have. And Anakin and Obi-Wan still fight on Mustafar, which ultimately Obi-Wan becomes a victor. Obi-Wan has the high ground. Obi-Wan tells Anakin, don't try it. And Anakin in his cockiness says, you underestimate my power. Tries to pull out Obi-Wan to Darth Maul. Jumps over Obi-Wan to try to stab him in the chest. I only know like Anakin tries to stab him in his chest because there's this alternate scene where Anakin is successful, and then later on he kills the Emperor. That's like a different scenario, and I would have loved like maybe get some short films, see like that what if scenario, because that would have been cool. That would be cool to see that what if scenario. Like, what if Anakin was successful in killing Obi-Wan, and then later on Sidious? What would happen then? Will Padme still survive? Will Luke and Leia die? That would be an interesting short film to see. So, dark, but interesting. But anyways, in this timeline, in this canon, Obi-Wan cuts off Anakin's legs and like remaining non-robotic arm. Says, you are the chosen one. It's that you destroy the Sith, not join them. Bring balance to the Force, not leaving darkness. And then Anakin says, I hate you. You're my brother, Anakin. I loved you. Wow, I really went in there, okay. Legitimus. But then Anakin gets burned. Obi-Wan leaves. Sidious essentially sees Anakin, surprised that he's still alive. Go back to his facility. We see Padme giving birth to Luke and Leia, dies. The final words to Obi-Wan was, there's good in him. I know there's good in him. Vader, we see Anakin get into the Vader suit, and they are asking Palpatine, where is Padme? And Palpatine says, in your anger you killed her. And we see, Vader at this point having trouble accepting that. And then we see Obi-Wan, Bail, Organa, and Yoda discuss what will happen between the twins that Padme just gave birth to. Bail says, me and my wife would take Leia. We always talked about adopting the baby girl. She'll be left with us. And then they agreed to take, Obi-Wan agrees to take Luke to Tatooine to his Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen, being Anakin's step brother. And you can say sister-in-law at this point. And then, before Obi-Wan goes, Yoda says, in your solitude on Tatooine, training eye for you. And it will be from your old master, Qui-Gon. And then we see Bail Organa telling Captain Antilles, wipe this protocol droid's memory, which was hilarious to see, like R2, D2 just laughing at C3PO. And then we get the rest of the movie where we see Padme's funeral. We see Bail going to Alderaan to his wife to show, hey, look, we got a baby girl. We adopted her. And Vader and Sidious looking at the Death Star being created, as well as Obi-Wan going to Tatooine to deliver baby Luke to Owen Emperor Lars. And the movie pretty much ends there. Like I said, this is my first Star Wars movie, so has a lot of sentimental. To me, it's very sentimental to me. This is the first Star Wars movie, as I said. I remember like when I saw Obi-Wan cutting off Anakin's limbs, and then Anakin getting burned. That, I guess, what really hooked me. Like watching this movie from the beginning when I first got into Star Wars, as well as going back, watching the previous two movies, and then going to watch the remaining 3 movies. Because keep in mind, I got into Star Wars when I was 11, which was like 2007, 2008. And at this time, there was only 6 Star Wars movies. The prequels and the original trilogy. There wasn't any sequels. The closest spin-off that was actually there was like the Ewok Adventures and the horrible holiday special. That all 3 movies I would later watch. The holiday special was because I wanted to see how bad it was. It was torture. And the Ewok Adventures was because all my time on inside the booth before I left to do my own thing. I remember reviewing the Ewok Adventures on Inside the Booth, so that was fun. And so really there was really all like 6 Star Wars movies that really matters. And I'm still to this day surprised how my DVDs are like scraped, broken with how many times I've watched all 6 movies. Memories, man, memories. But I know a lot of people say this, and I agree. Revenge of the Sith is potentially the best Star Wars movie of the 3 movies in the prequels. Like I said, it's my favorite one. Is the one that has the most sentimental value to me, because it's my very first Star Wars movie that I've seen. And I do like that they like show that, which we kind of would guess from like watching the original trilogy, that sometimes, sadly, the hero sometimes falls. But also, like, yes, what I like about Star Wars is like, it shows that, and like it shows that, yeah, there's gonna be dark times ahead in your life, but you shouldn't give up, because the light will always shine through, whether that comes in now or like you have to like wait a little bit. There is always a light that will shine through at the end. And that's why I really enjoyed The Phantom Menace all the way through Return of the Jedi. And yeah, Star Wars has changed my life for the better. Each Star Wars film, like I'm isolating this to the George Lucas era for now. each Star Wars film has like heavily influenced how I view things nowadays, and I'm very grateful for George Lucas that he created Star Wars. And yeah, just like I said, I Revenge of the Sith. I feel like among like time with Return of the Jedi, but I feel like Revenge of the Sith will always be like my favorite due to it being my first the Star Wars movie that got me hooked into Star Wars. So that said, what do you guys think about this movie? Let me know in the comment section down below. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. And we'll talk to you fellow mutants later. May the Force be with us all.